Chapter 18 Life of the Early Men, 2nd. The beginning of farming. Early humans kept moving from place to place in search of food. They soon realized that whenever they threw the seeds of the fruits they ate, new plants grew from them. They noticed that when these plants became big, fruits grew on them. The early humans had discovered farming. Early man sowing food. They now knew of a method to grow their food rather than go searching for it. They could now settle down at one place. The early humans must have learned that the plants needed water and fertile soil to grow well. So began the search for fertile land and water sources for farming. Such places were mostly near the rivers, so they started settling down in small villages near rivers. Man started living in houses. Development of transport. Early humans still had to travel long distances and carry heavy loads. They had to carry animals they killed or wood for making fire or constructing houses. After settling down in villages, the early humans also started domesticating animals. They came to know that some animals such as horses, donkeys, cows, bullocks, and dogs could be domesticated more easily than others. They used these animals for carrying loads and plowing their farmlands. They also got food like milk and meat from these animals. But traveling and transporting heavy loads by land was still difficult. At first, they made carts that could be pulled along the ground. They were called sleds. A sledge. The early men had observed that wood floats on water. They used to cross a river on logs of wood. They soon learned that a tree trunk also floats if it was curved hollow. This is how the first boat was ever made. They used rafts to transport goods across rivers. The rafts were made by tying logs of wood together. Raft in water. Fact box. The invention of the wheel is considered to be a landmark in the history of mankind. The early man pushed and pulled the cart himself. Later on, they learned to use animals to do this, but it was difficult to move the cart on uneven ground. They noticed that round pieces of tree trunks rolled easily. They fitted small pieces of tree trunks to the cart. Now, they could move the cart easily on uneven ground. These were the first wheels. Invention of the wheel. Sometime later, the early humans might have seen round logs of wood rolling down a hill. They realized that round things could move much more easily on land. So, they fitted small pieces of tree trunks below their carts. The cart could now move easily on uneven ground. Thus, the wheel was invented. Land travel now became easier and faster. The discovery of the wheel helped the early men in improving their life. It was now possible to transport heavy stones to build better houses. Invention of wheel. Discovery of metal. It was discovered that some of these stones could be melted to give metals such as iron and copper. This made it possible to make better tools. Using these, humans could now clear forests to get land for growing crops. Let's remember. Early humans started settling down in villages after they learned farming. They domesticated animals for carrying loads, plowing, and for food. Then, they developed rafts and sledges for transport. The invention of the wheel changed the lives of people. Words treasure. Settling. To become established at a place. Hollow. Having a hole. Raft. A number of straight logs were tied together to make a raft. Sledge, a cart of logs that could be pulled along the ground.